Hello folks, Reverend CrystalCox here. This book is called PTSD by Cathy O'Brien. If you're not familiar with her, you can research her. She was recovered from MK Ultra, a lot of other stuff. In the description to this video, and the videos after this, I will put a playlist to this book. I've started reading it in another channel. So there will be a playlist linked in the description. Okay, so where we left off is food for thought. Listening to your body is an easy way to reattach to being present. Our bodies went through trauma with us and need to be nurtured while we reclaim our minds and lives. Sleep, food, and water deprivation are common components of mind control and contribute strongly to heightened suggestibility under any circumstances. Our brain's electrochemical activity is driven by nutrition, which can either accelerate healing or decelerate free thought. Which I found very interesting on our thought, like when I would do dry fasting, certain thought forms would stop. Not only are they coming through the food, but the chemicals in the food are interacting with the thought forms that may not be of a high frequency. Okay, chemical and pharmaceutical companies manufacture, genetically alter, and unnaturally treat our foods in order to affect our physical and mental health. So you have these people like Johnson & Johnson, Monsanto. I've got some blogs about Kauai when I was there. I forget some of the other, Bayer, all of, the beloved companies. They had these properties in Hawaii, and so they're doing genetically, chemical, they're in all in their white suits and spraying their crops and doing all this to get the certain chemicals in the food, and then those chemicals actually interact with thoughts. It's all part of mind control, because otherwise, you grow food and you eat it, right? The Great Spirit gave us all these plant cures, and the government said, no, you cannot use those, and we'll arrest you and we'll jail you and do all these bad things. You can't use plants from the divine. But here's all these chemically induced stuff, right? From Bayer, from Johnson & Johnson, from Monsanto, from, I forget, it's the S name, all these big companies, they create this, because why are they needed, right? We don't need those cures. Mother Earth, there's a cure for everything, in frequency, in energy, in plant cures, in vitamins, in magnetics. Their stuff is actually just to chemically modify you, and it's put in everything. Okay. Follow the money, and it becomes clear how pharmaceutical companies benefit by first creating ill health and then treating it. Kind of like the classic abuse scenario. You tear them down and then you build them up. Under MK Ultra mind control, I was fed copious quantities of aspartame in order to inhibit free thought and critical analysis. So drink a lot of Diet Coke, maybe you don't have free thought. These same artificial sweeteners was introduced into society en masse in a deliberate effort to impose mass mind control, social engineering. Right now, today is March 6th, 2021. Within the last few months, the guy who was the head of the aspartame company, or part of bringing this to the world, killed himself. So the white hats, the good guys, God wins, Goddess wins, the light's in charge, and this is all going away and being exposed. Okay, so this same artificial sweetener was introduced in society en masse, deliberately for mass mind control. Rethink what chemicals you're putting into your body. Now that we have the internet at our fingertips, we can research for ourselves and begin systematic reclamation of our society through making intelligent choices. Read labels on your favorite foods, baby formula, bottled water, body lotions, shampoo, all of it, and even your toothpaste, in order to eliminate imposed chemicals intended to dumb you down. At the onset of my healing path, I chose not to ingest aspartame in order to free my mind of this adverse chemical hindrance. Through this first step toward reclaiming my physical and mental health chemically, I learned the importance of listening to my body and maintaining good nutrition. After over a decade of having fats removed from my diet, it was a pleasure to experience the vast difference in my thinking and energy level while maintaining a healthy diet. Meats and fish, such as salmon, were especially nutritious to my brain's need for certain cholesterols in order to fire properly again. Salt, natural sugars, magnesium, and calcium also influence brain firing and are therefore needed in healthy quantities. Conscious eating helps to ensure that you do not mindlessly overeat and thus create imbalance to the other direction. The more I listened to my body, the healthier I became. Herbs and vitamins cleared my cloudy mind, which made retrieving repressed memory much easier and less exhausting. And on this note, look up things like candida. Okay, curing yourself of candida will relieve all of these symptoms. Okay, medical marijuana is one such helpful herb that was readily available in Alaska due to the state legalizing the laws. Dr. Sanjay Gupta's Weed 3 documentary that aired on national TV 4/20/2015 scientifically detailed the healing benefits of medical marijuana for PTSD. Since it aired, the medical cannabis legalization movement is growing like a weed. Even Washington, D.C. is now addressing the issue due to the voice of the people. Did you see on the maps now? Go and look at Washington, D.C. maps. It's not called Washington, D.C. I think the good guys have taken over. It's just called Washington. Even Washington, D.C. is now addressing the issue due to the voice of the people, especially as pertains to PTSD. Okay, marijuana, blah, blah, blah. Pharmaceutical companies have a lot to lose by legalization of medical cannabis, as it gives control back to the people, while usurping pharmaceutical profits. It hits them as hard in the money belt as alternative energies do to the oil mongers, and could eventually, even potentially disrupt their manufacturing and their manipulation of our food. So they have to keep manipulating our food and our products to keep control of us. Cannabis usage is not conducive to mind control or keeping secrets, which is why it is strictly forbidden and is reprimanded in the military use through MKUltra victimization. Okay, so cannabis can wake you up. So all these chemicals, all this indoctrination, you smoke marijuana and it starts to wake you up. And so they convince you it's bad, it's illegal, they make it illegal, they jail you. That's why all of these people in mass jailed for a plant, because it doesn't let them do their mind control. Okay, it is said that Vietnam War was lost due to the cannabis usage, as was intended by Vietnamese war captains who knew of its effect in disrupting military point-and-shoot programs. Wow. Medical marijuana can bring you to a peaceful, nonviolent now that helps keep the past from intruding on the present. It is a therapeutically safe way to balance brain work of writing out memory with reassociating with the present in an uplifting way. Because medical marijuana keeps you in the now, it is not beneficial while writing out memory. Awesome. Do expect, however, to be making note of memory flashes that naturally surface due to the herb's relaxation and reputed expansion of thought. Keep a notebook with you at all times. Make note of flashes to write out in full after a good night's sleep with a clear mind. Memory work is naturally exhausting, so good nutrition and plenty of sleep are essential to well-being and being well. The subconscious never sleeps, not even during surgeries. What is discussed during surgical procedures has been proven to impact the outcome. Right, so what they're saying in the room matters. Oh, they're out. No, you're not really out. So while sleeping, wisely turn off television, music for optimum health or rejuvenation. Right, so if you're sleeping with the television on, you have that constant frequency, that constant disruption. So definitely do not sleep in front of the television. That's my sleep in front of the television accent. Since sleep, food, and water deprivation are common components of mind control, getting plenty of sleep, eating well, and drinking water are conducive to free thought. Likewise, for medical marijuana, its mind-expanding properties stimulate free thought, healthy appetite, and restful sleep, while inspiring being well through a deep sense of well-being. Since our bodies are made primarily of water, drinking plenty of fresh water is a must for optimum health. And see my videos on dry fasting. The purest form of water you can get is dry fasting, because your body, it uses your body's water. So, look into that too. Water deprivation was used as part of their torture, and so for mind control, people are saying, drink lots of good water. My brain feels energized by pure water. Listen to your body's needs, and be mindful to not habitually attempt to satisfy it with a snack or a substitute. Nutrition has such an important impact on your brain that it can immediately affect memory retrieval. Oftentimes, when people have been horrifically abused, eating excessively becomes routine, addictive, and subconsciously driven. Stay aware of eating consciously and choose well. Food changes brain chemistry for good or bad, depending on its nutritional value. Comfort foods may stop memory from intrusively flashing, burying it under an avalanche of mind-numbing distraction. You can do pendulum work over any food, counterclockwise to remove any negative or non-beneficial, and then clockwise to raise the frequency of the food. Okay. Likewise, when you are writing out memory, avoid stopping to eat, even if it is healthy, a healthy snack, because it will change your brain chemistry. Every time you eat, it changes your brain chemistry. And it changes it enough to inhibit the flow of photographic memory recall. Okay, drink water when you're thirsty. Hold off on caffeinated or sweetened drinks that can also change your brain chemistry from the mode you're currently in. So don't drink your coffee, your Coke, any of that until you have done your recall. So when you wake up or you've had some sort of epiphany, you write that all down. Don't change the chemistry. Okay, unlocking that memory, because we're like, oh, well, I'll get up and then I'm going to go get my coffee or whatever, and then I'm going to, go over my dreams and you just won't remember it because it changes the chemistry. Unlocking that memory has been an elaborate electrochemical process, and it is wise to just go with the flow and write it out in full. When you are through writing it out, go ahead and eat that blow pop you may suddenly be craving. Or better yet, understand the source of the craving and listen to your body rather than your past. Right, so these memories bring this craving. Nutrition feels good and satisfies long after the eating experience. Okay, deprogram the program first. Just because you wrote out your memory in photographic detail does not necessarily mean it's all true. Factual memory can become intertwined deliberately with mind control programming or inadvertently with television programs, movies, video games, books, or other people's stories. It is essential to deprogram the program first and untangle reality from fantasy. You can do this by questioning yourself as well as applying the 21-day rule. Truth by its very nature never goes away, while lies and fantasy fade over time. Since writing out repressed memory automatically tears down its walls of compartmentalization, memory becomes normalized. Once the neuron pathways are open and memory is written out in the photographic detail in which it was stored, the compartment dissipates. Yes, it's almost like once you take the file out of the cabinet disappears. It's interesting. It is like defragging your computer so information is relocated to where it belongs, which is kind of shamanic soul retrieval stuff. With memory normalized, you can recall it all. You can recall at will. It no longer can intrude on your present, subconsciously undermine, or cause night terrors. Those intrusions are akin to alarm systems that are alerting you to consciously deal with your past. Once you've written your memory out, the alarm systems are no longer needed. Your memory becomes normal and does not recompartmentalize. Take your fully written out memory, date the top of the page, and safely store it out of sight for 21 days. Do not verbalize it during this time. Then reread what you wrote. After 21 days, lies and fantasy fade, while truth is as strong as ever. If any part are unfamiliar to you or seem faded, they most likely are tangible that occurred from heightened suggestibility. Yeah, I find that a lot. You're looking over something and you feel charged, you see a memory a certain way, and then later you only remember some things. I was going through a time recently, I think in the last few months, where I was like, gosh, how weird that I've had all of these different things happen that were so hard, and I don't remember them. I know they happened, but that I don't remember. Or I'll bring up certain people in my life, and I don't remember anything negative about them. I still don't prefer them in my life. I'm like, yeah, I don't really prefer it. But I don't have all the details as to why. Awesome. You should experience clarity between your true memory and those tangles, being able to distinguish them with ease and thus unscramble them. This may trigger even more memory due to the questions raised. Ask yourself, who told me that? Which is part of, what is it that I believe to be feeling this way? Finding your unconscious beliefs, bringing them to conscious. Or perhaps you recognize the television show that your brain filed as experience due to a heightened suggestibility at that time. Okay, so you're really stressed as a child. And so you have a heightened suggestibility. So something your parents are going through, other people around you, or even a TV show can become your memory that you think you had. Okay. For example, you were really spinning around in a tornado on your way to Oz, or it's your head spinning from a trauma at the time you watched it. The best way to unscramble memory is to question yourself throughout the process of writing it out. The 21-day rule is best used for confirming that how you wrote out your memory was accurate all along. When you have an intrusive memory flash, slow it down and catch a thread. This only takes a moment's pause. If you are preoccupied when your past intrudes on your present with a flash of memory, acknowledge it by making a note. Always keep a notebook with you and within reach. When you make note of a word or two that flash, your brain knows it has been consciously acknowledged and shuts off that flashing alarm. Then you can go about your business and wait for a convenient time to write out the memory in full. So just like a note of what it was. When you are in a safe, quiet space, relax yourself. Take a deep breath and systematically, one by one, relax your eyes, relax your nose, relax your cheeks, relax your mouth, relax your chin, relax your mind. You can quiet your conscious mind to allow for the flow of memory. This meditative state is not to be confused with disassociation. Disassociation shuts off memory. The kind of meditative trance that I'm referring to is that peaceful space where your subconscious is not overpowered by outside distraction. It is within you, and it is within you to remember. To find that space where your memory has been stored, look at your note of the memory flash where you caught a thread. Consider that thread to be of the fabric of your memory that begins to unravel. Follow it in deeper and deeper into your subconscious mind and begin writing. As you write out your memory, it will seem very close. Yet you already lived it and do not have to relive it when you watch it in your mind, on your mind screen. Your mind screen is where you first saw memory flashes appear. No need for fear, you already survived it. Remembering it will only free you from its subconscious effects and allow you to reclaim that brain space that has been shut down through compartmentalization. Relax, take a deep breath, relax, and write. Follow that thread of memory that flashed, leading you into remember. What do you see? Begin asking yourself questions. Who is that? What is that voice telling me? How old am I? What is my point of view? Am I small within my eyes at knee level? Am I tall? Oh gosh, I love doing that. I always examine, even for my dreams or whatever, where was my eye height? So I can see, was it me? Was it a memory? Was it me in another life? Look at my hand, was it me? And then also, I've been experimenting with the angle I come into the memory. So when you go, I want to just pick a memory, like, a picnic or an event or graduation or a wedding or day at the beach. You picture you just kind of remember it. And sometimes I will see myself come into the memory and I'll see it with me standing there doing it. Sometimes I'll see the memory through my own eyes. And so the camera angle of the memory is fascinating to me. Which of them I see, like a version I didn't see. Like I would see this angle on the person. Like say, I had this one memory, I'm talking to this person, I'm here, and they're here. And in my memory, I commit the camera angle right at the person, not through my eyes here. I find that fascinating, and it all probably means something different. Okay, what am I wearing? What shoes am I wearing? What season is it? Was there any smells, sounds? Am I warm or cold, inside or outside? How did I get here? Where did I go after? Whose voice is that? Write out what you're being told and what you're seeing. What are the background sounds? Who else is here? What is that smell? What is that taste? Television does not have smells or tastes. Pull back to expand your vision beyond pinpoint focus to see if your mind screen is of a television, or a video game, or a story from a book, or a computer monitor. This exercise of identifying smells or tastes will help you unscramble memory as you remember it in photographic detail. In my experience, I had actually been programmed to smell a scent, a rose for example, to confuse memory. Olfactory senses are among the strongest triggers of memory, and this fact is well known amongst mind control programmers. My programmers failed to consider that I would photographically recall hearing them programming me to smell a rose. I heard the voice and deprogrammed the program first, whereby untangling the scramble at the onset of writing out full photographic memory. Be mindful not to make the mistake therapists often make by asking leading questions. A leading question would be, is that a rose I smell? You are already suggesting an answer to the question posed, when in fact the smell could be a complex combination of scents, such as exists in the real world. Likewise, aromatherapy is akin to asking a leading question and should be avoided. Is that Daddy? Should be phrased, who is that? So don't lead them. This will help your memory to stay purely factual as photographically recorded, rather than meandering off in a direction or supposed conclusion. Asking yourself questions as you write out memory is key, and deprogramming the program first is always essential for healing. Okay, so we're up to page 45 in the PTSD Time to Heal, Cathy O'Brien. Thank you for listening. Talk again soon.